As human beings, we are all brought up differently. We are social beings and we're oriented into life differently. We form different societies within our societies. There are societies in every society. The kind of church you go, the kind of family you come from, the kind of country you come in, the tribe. All these are societies that fall within the bigger society, which is a Ghanaian or an African or a citizen of Earth. We should use this opportunity to make sure that we prioritize those things more. Come up with sustainable fashion, things that makes us to put us all together in a cycle so that we can actually move forward as human beings and not change things that we can't catch up to. Owusu Kofi Michael is my name. My company name is Owusu Kofi Tailoring. It's a company I have set up 5 years now. My Instagram page or my Instagram handle is owusu.kofi_. I was actually born into fashion or into tailoring because my dad is a tailor himself. So I learned how to sew from him. Then after secondary school, people started advising me to make fashion my job. So then I enrolled myself into Bradford University College. Then from there, I've been running this company or this tailoring firm in fashion design. It's important to understand fashion from different angles. Culture is part of fashion. I remember the definition of culture is a way of life. The definition of fashion is an accepted way of life. So basically, it's the same thing. If you're able to sew culture and our ideas together in fashion, then we can create sustainable items. Basically, here in Ghana, everything that we do, we don't do them for shorter periods. We do it to sustain us for a longer period. We have only 2 seasons. These 2 seasons that we have, we can actually wear the same clothing in both seasons. So if I'm going to sew something from the tailor or if I'm going to buy something from the market, I don't buy it in the mentality that in this November, December, the weather is going to be too cold. I can't wear this because it's sleeveless. I can still wear it because the differences are not that extreme. So we here in Africa, we are open to sustainable fashion, things that last us a very, very long time. I think we should capitalize on that and make it our very own. If you find someone wearing something, the fact of you knowing what it is alone can identify the person to you. If you meet somebody wearing a type of kente the person has woven, you don't know the person, you can tell this person is an Asante. This person is. These are the messages that we need to tell the world. What we wear, what we choose to have within our environment are things that were being done ages ago. We are still doing them now, and we want to keep doing them tomorrow. These are the fashions these are the cultures that we have merged together. We need to understand when we are going for naming ceremonies, we wear white. It's a culture. It's something that is beautiful. So we need to, if you're coming up designs for wedding or naming ceremonies, you go in into white. The different shades of how you can do things and how to make them beautiful. We have to make sure that we understand our culture the way we want it to be and keep it as it is. The fashion industry of my dream is something that I personally is something that represents persons as they are. It gives us the opportunity to project ourselves differently. We have to accept each other as we are. That's how the fashion industry is supposed to be. And the industry, being part of the industry here in Ghana, I think basically we should try and educate ourselves better. People go into the industry and because they read fashion design, they think they have to come out of school as fashion designers. It makes it difficult for other parts of the industry to function properly. So basically, locally here in Ghana, I would say when you find yourself in a fashion institution, take the opportunity to know what you are very good at. You don't have to come out from an institution and by force you have to be a designer. If you have to be a merchandiser, yes, go into it. Help us to merchandise our stuff. If you want to go into buying, yes, go out, help us buy things in so we can have things to work with. Things are very small in quantities here. Finding fabrics to buy, finding things to buy is difficult because everybody who comes out of an institution wants to go into either tailoring or wants to go into designing. It makes it very difficult for us to function properly as the outside world. We are limited in so many aspects. We don't have proper machines, don't have equipment. The industry seems to be revolving around very few people and we keep repeating ourselves and doing things the same. I think from now, I think the fashion industry of my dream is where every aspect of the industry works very well. When they set up a fashion show, the fashion show should have bias in the fashion. You shouldn't have the celebrities come to sit down and watch. If they come to sit down when they watch, they don't have any positive thing to serve the designers who have actually paid to show on that platform. If you had designers, if you had merchandisers, if you had buyers, and you invite all these people to be at the fashion shows, these buyers are there to look at what's going to trend the next few seasons, so that they can buy from the designers. There's a difference between designing the clothes and actually making it. If you don't have a good angle of how the design is supposed to be made, it turns out that it's just an artwork on paper. It has to be produced so that you can become wearable or become usable. So my impact into the industry, I think basically I want to make an impact by teaching people how to actually tailor things properly, how to sew things the right way. I want COVID-19 to have a positive change on us. We should have a different direction. We should slow down the pace in fashion. If you buy something fashionable, you need to give yourself some time to enjoy it before you delve yourself into other new stuffs. It may not be good for business as in a fashion designer, but basically I think we should try and move a direction towards knowing each other very well and loving each other for who we are, other than just chasing over fashion and chasing over new stuffs all the time. I think fashion moves a bit too fast. Fashion runs way too fast. We have to capitalize on the fact that now we have turned out to look at what actually is more important to us as human beings. We are social beings. We are supposed to love each other as persons. Fashion has turned out to be something that is dividing us in our social life. We have to be either from a higher standard to a middle standard and lower standard based on what you wear, where you go to, the kind of cars you drive and stuff. So this is what fashion is doing to us. I think we should take this opportunity to appreciate what life is actually about. We should focus on social life, the relationship between ourselves and how to handle our social differences. The COVID-19 has opened our eyes and told us that what really matters more is family, it's friends, it's gatherings and stuff. Those are the things we miss now. We want to go back into be social people, go back into people. But if you go back again and we start chasing the newest kind of outfit that's in town, the newest color palette and making changes and stuff every 6 months and every now and then, I think we didn't take advantage about this wrong pandemic that is hitting us now. Fashion should have a change. We should have a different direction. We should have different thoughts. We should sit back and restructure our lives and reprioritize what is most important to us as persons. We should be different from the outside world. If globally they still want to go ahead and change up new items every new season, I think us as persons in Ghana or in Africa, we should try our possible best to make sure that we enjoy what our way of life. We make sure our way of life has influence on ourselves. The first or the second-hand industry is not just being run by the people you find them selling at the market. It's a long trail of kind of people that get themselves involved. There are huge sums of money, which is in the long run is helping the economy some way, somehow. So, for example, the people who go out in collecting these items, it's a livelihood for them. Those who ship it, the shipping companies that bring them in, the people who finance the shipment before they bring it down to the sellers, before it comes down to we, the consumers. There's a whole line of something. I think the government or someone should sit down and structure it properly and see how best it can help our industry. But in the negative aspect, it's also flooding the market and giving us very, 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 very strong competition. We can't meet up to how quick these things come in because we don't have big production houses to meet up to them. So basically, I think we should find a neutral ground between the two. As a designer, sometimes I go into buy the second-hand clothing. I pick up things from the market, interesting stuffs, come back home, unpick them, have a look at how the patterns were being made, how the stitching, how many stitches do they have in it, the difference between the edge of the stitching, the gap between the understitching, the wrap measurement and stuff. I check all these things so that it enhances my my skill. If it wasn't the second-hand clothes, I had to go and buy them expensive at the shops, and it would be difficult for me to go and buy expensive stuff and I'll pick them. Since they are cheap already as the second-hand, we can have the opportunity to learn from these things. It makes it easy for us to learn. But negatively, it's still flattening us. It makes work difficult. I've met so many people who tell you, say, Metiska, Apam, trouser and Kamnokakoto. It's true. The second-hand of the force is cheaper. But if you're able to come up with production houses whereby we have our own industries where we produce the same fabrics here, we sew it at cheaper prices, we have incentive on electricity and stuff, then we can also meet up the competition and stuff. I know Ghanaians do like new things. We enjoy buying new things. This is very new, we like it. But since most of us can't afford it, we resort to the second-hand ones. So if you want to gap or bridge the gap between the two, I think we should do our homework well as designers. We should try our best to come up with enough things to feed up the people at lesser prices so that we can actually make the gap. If you give the people the option, there are bigger shops, fashion shops, where you can go in and get a jeans trouser for 50 cedis, which is made here in Ghana, or going to town to buy a second-hand jeans for 50 cedis. I think basically people would like to go into the shops and shop for the newer things that are made in Ghana. But we don't have that here. So the only option is to go in for the second-hand clothes. I think from now we should try, use this COVID-19 and stuff, restructure things. If we have the funding, we should fund ourselves and we should go forward to that. Basically, that's what we are planning ourselves towards. As here at Owusu Kofi, we are trying to have a production house bigger, but it takes time. It takes bigger capitals and stuff. So with time, the dream is towards that direction. So we hope that with time we can build ourselves to that point and serve the industry properly.